Hi viewers, Purple Celery here. Welcome back to my channel. I thought today I'd do a short Doctor Who discussion video because we have had a lot of news recently about Series 12, including the two trailers and confirmation of the air date, as well as other miscellaneous bibs and bobs. So we all know by now that Doctor Who Series 12 is returning on the 1st of January 2020. That's obviously New Year's Day in the UK. For those of us such as myself who are in Australia, that's going to be in the early hours of the 2nd of January, so unfortunately we'll have to wait, I guess. I'm also, I guess, in two minds about the fact that Doctor Who will be airing on Sundays in the UK. That obviously means it'll be airing on Mondays here in Australia. From like a purely selfish perspective, I'm not a huge fan of that. Last year the ABC showed the new episodes at 6 o'clock on Monday evenings. Long story short, it was like a really bad time slot and no one ended up watching it. People such as myself tended to watch it more on iView or via streaming. But you know, it is what it is, and I'm obviously happy that it is coming back as soon as it is. Secondly, the two-parters. I think this is a fantastic idea. Apparently the first story, Spyfall, will be a two-parter. Part one will end on a pretty big cliffhanger. I reckon that's like a great idea, especially when you've got such a large TARDIS team such as this one. It allows the cast to, I guess, breathe a bit. It allows the story to explore each character and give them like a proper plot line to follow. In particular, it also looks from the trailer like we'll see more of the companions in their home lives. There was like a brief clip of Yaz dressed in her police officer's uniform, which I think is good because she was sort of like set up to be this like young, ambitious cop in the first episode of Series 11. We never really got to see that pan out much. So yeah, I definitely think that's a good thing that we're getting two-parters and that we also get to see more of the companions' lives outside of travelling in the TARDIS with the Doctor. In terms of guest stars, a lot has been said about the inclusion of Stephen Fry and Lenny Henry in this series, but the guest star that I'm actually the most excited about is Robert Glenister, who played Ash in Hustle. Now, I really like Robert Glenister. I think that he's a great actor. I also love his brother Philip Glenister, who was Gene Hunt in Life on Mars and Ashes to Ashes, so that's one episode that I'm really going to be looking forward to. In terms of the returning monsters and villains, I'm neutral about the Jadoon. Like I don't really care about them much to have any strong feelings about their return. The Cyberman looks quite interesting. In my experience, the Cyberman stories either tend to be very bad, such as Closing Time, or very good, such as the Mondasian two-parter at the end of Series 10. This Cyberman that we've seen, he looks pretty beat up and rusty. It looks like he's kind of bolted together with random parts throughout the various eras of the Cyberman. So yeah, it's interesting. So I'm cautiously optimistic about how this Cyberman episode will play out. It also seems overall like this Series 12 is going to be a little bit more darker and scarier than Series 11. For example, there was that brief clip in the trailers where we see this being try and infiltrate the TARDIS. We also see the Doctor looking a little bit vulnerable and alone and scared. So I'm very interested to see how that's going to play out. There's also an episode which is set in Paris of 1943. That's like a really interesting time in European history, obviously. It's like the middle of World War II when France was occupied by the Vichy government. I'm not sure how the kisses thing is going to play out. That line seemed like a little bit naff to me, but yeah, who knows. It also looks like several episodes, or at least one episode, is going to take place by the coast or the beach. So we've seen a shot of the Doctor standing up the top of a lighthouse. There's also a brief scene where a lot of bird-like creatures seem to be attacking the TARDIS, which is located on the beach. There's also one of the Doctor running along the shoreline as well. I'm not sure whether these are all going to be part of the same episode. With the lighthouse clip, it looked like it was overlooking a rocky beach, but the other two shots with the TARDIS and the Doctor running looked more like they were set like on a sandy beach. But I'm intrigued, especially the one of the birds attacking the TARDIS. I'd be quite keen to see Doctor Who do the birds. The only thing that I have some real reservations about is the latest TARDIS interior. Putting those big chunky yellow crystals in the middle of the TARDIS just makes it seem too cluttered and too garish and just too strange. I don't know whether that's meant to be symbolic. Maybe this series is going to be about the Doctor feeling like things are closing in on her, and maybe the big yellow crystally things are meant to reflect that. But to me, I just wasn't a huge fan of the Series 12 TARDIS interior. But obviously, you know, maybe I'll change my mind as the series goes on. But those are all basically my thoughts. I would love to hear what you think about Series 12 so far. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the two trailers and any other news that you might have picked up along the way. Otherwise, I will see everybody, no doubt, in the new year when Doctor Who returns. In the meantime, this is Purple Celery over and out. Thank you so much for watching.